The ancients, they always said that the eyes is the window to the soul. And they said this often. But what they're alluding to in a more abstract way is that the energy of the eyes, the energy of vision, is associated with the energy of eternity, the energy of wisdom. And it's considered a spiritually masculine energy, the energy of eternal wisdom. And when they alluded to ears, if King Solomon does a verse referring to the ears, or any of the mystics do a reference to the ears, they're referring to a feminine energy, feminine spiritual energy, through which they're relating to understanding. And so wisdom is this flash of information, eternal flash. And understanding is taking a slice of that information, a part of it, and separating it, and possessing it. And that taking that piece of information, that piece of knowledge from eternity, from infinity, infinite knowledge, that's a feminine, that's a mother energy. It's energy you build upon. And when you have understanding to grow upon, and you combine it and return it back to its root in eternity, in eternal knowledge, then you cultivate what's called the child energy. Between the masculine and the feminine, they produce a child. But there's not really a child, it's just a different tier of relationship, a different tier of resonance. And that tier of understanding is called knowing. So when you understand, it's usually an understanding is gleaned from either taking a piece of infinite knowledge or learning from without. By learning from the darkness, you gain understanding by not knowing the thing. And then when you bring back that missing piece, that separate piece of understanding, you return it back to infinite knowledge and infinite wisdom, and you have a merger. Then it produces, as a child, it produces a new dimension of perception called knowing. And that space of knowing is a very intimate, powerful space. In the biblical archetypes, when it refers to Adam and Eve, or any of the grand archetypes, a relationship of cohabitation, of being together intimately, it uses the word knowing. What Isaac knew Rebecca, or Adam knew Eve, and they bore children. And so that space of returning from your understanding of what you learned from without, and bringing back that understanding of what you gleaned from the darkness, and bringing it back to its light in eternity. And when those two collide, the knowledge that was imparted from a refraction in exile, the knowledge of knowing from without, and realigning it with the light of eternity, of eternal knowledge, that brings the passion of knowing. A great reunion, a great re-embrace, and so to speak, it bears children. It bears new tiers of perception within an individual, new capacities of spiritual attainments, spiritual capacity to know and to heal and to commune and to potently and actively co-create. So knowing is symbolized with the nose. Nose is truth. Truth. Truth, merciful truth. And the ancients, they had many rituals. There is a special type of expression through the heritage of spirituality that was with incense, an expression of incense, a balancing of fragrances. And in Solomon's temple, they actually had a separate altar for incense, and it was kept in a more intimate inner chamber, in an intimate area, and it was considered to be a supreme expression, a very special expression, the most intimate expression, like a husband who knows their wife. And that's symbolized with incense, which is expression of fragrance. It's a sacrifice. It's an expression, a giving of fragrance through the dimension that transcends the physicality of things, but is ethereal in nature, as relates to smell and the nose, which is knowing. And then there is verse and prayer and meditation, which is associated with speech. And speech is considered to be both the most supreme and the most base of actions, for it can be used to create the most exalted creations, but can also be used to debase and diminish and deconstruct in the most wanting fashion. And what I would say is that speech is so powerful, and it is aligned with majesty. And majesty, the energies of majesty, is not to take your spirituality and what you've attained through understanding and through wisdom and then through knowing, and then take it and just leave this space and live elsewhere and not contribute to this world, but it is imparted to you to make a difference and impart the solution within the fabric of this world here and now. You're here exactly to be part of the solution, not to yearn to be anywhere else. And the majesty of speech is to bring forth a solution through the expression of the tongue, the same expression that can demystify and be sarcastic is the same expression that can inspire and reignite. The same power, and that's a power of the dimension of majesty, for the speech can imprison and speech can set one free.